So welcome to the first Heritage Pop Quiz and the guinea pig. Wonderful. Limahl, you put your neck in the noose. I don't know why you've done it, but you have and picked a subject, 20 questions on a subject of your choice. We'll find out in a moment. But I know, first of all, people want to know what you're going to be up to musically this year. 2 cracking singles, and now people are waiting.
Yes. I'm writing. I've started. It's slow. People are busy, and there's all sorts of restrictions, as we know. But I'm hoping that I will have my first album in 25 years by 2022. So just be patient, a little bit more patient. What's 25 years between friends?
What about a new single?
Well, I think the marketing people said, that I should come back with an album. Now, the 2 singles from last year will be on that album, of course. So, it's just a case of getting it all together, and it feels like forever, especially for me. But it will. You can't rush. You can't rush genius. It's really tough with creatively to just say, right, I'll have an album ready in 2 months. So there's just, and there's life gets in the way. My mum's coming to visit again.
Good stuff. And it's through our conversation last year. I mean, we're a year on almost now from the Heritage Chart. It's now going out across Europe, across America. Today we discovered Canada as well. We're talking with Australia. Little did we think when we had the conversation a year ago, and you said, I can't get my song played, and I was the only one playing it. And then Nick Kershaw had a great single, so did Kim Wilde. We realized that people, the main stations, were not playing these songs. And look how, after our conversation in 1 year, it's taken off. We've got voting now from over 70 countries. It's just absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, it's wonderful. And, how something, such a tiny spark of an idea can evolve into something that's turning into this wonderful thing. And hearing these, I tune into your show all the time, as you know, and hearing all these songs. I mean, today I heard that Matt Hoy's song. I love the one by Eddie Grant. These are beautiful pieces of work, and the Heritage Chart is getting it out there to people. That's so important, because I think older artists are just as valid as teenage artists. The young artists appeal to the teens or the young people. That's fine, but let's not ignore the people who can still be valid, because they're bringing a different message, a different music. It's just as enjoyable.
And also, of course, last year, I mean, big hits from As Good As Anything You've Done. I mean, Still in Love, up there with the best you've done. Hero in Your Eyes, Howard Jones, up there with the best he's done. Cloudy Bay to Malibu, Nick Kershaw, up there with the best he's done. Soul Singer, Waterboys, As Good As Whole of the Moon. And all these songs sort of would kind of been lost somewhere.
And what a crime that would be, So the next step is the streaming sites, Mike. Come on, get onto it. The Heritage Chart on the streaming site, because as soon as Eurovision happened, I hit the streaming site, and of course there was the Eurovision playlist, and I think it's we live in this crazy one-click world. Don't ask people to 2 clicks. That's just too much. That's too confusing. But yeah, I think getting the Heritage Chart on the streaming sites would be an interesting step forward as well. So maybe I'm planting another seed for you there.
Well, it's funny you should say that, but we've been talking about it, looking at videos, what videos are available, what's in the current top 30, and doing it maybe on the website initially as audio. So doing the voiceover with Yellow Pearl, doing the voiceover and picking selected videos and doing it on there to start with. So yes, definitely on the cards.
That'll be great. I mean, this thing's just going to grow. How fabulous.
Yeah. No, very, very good. Right now, here's the point where you could go from fashion icon, from sex god to intellectual in one move.
Don't speak too soon. Don't tempt fate.
Okay, and your specialist subject?
Motown. Can I tell you why? So when I was 16 in Wigan, there was a big Northern Soul venue, the Wigan Casino. And technically, I don't think I was old enough to get in. I think you had to be 18. I think the manager felt sorry for me and they just kind of waved in a few younger people. But they had a singing contest and I entered it. And they played the B-side of Wayne Gibson's Under My Thumb. I think that was the original version before the Stones covered it. And yeah, the flip side was just an instrumental. And I knew the song. Under my thumb, I'm doing all that. And I won this, you know, I won 10 albums of my own choice. Now at 16, I barely had enough money to buy a single. You know, I was doing the paper round, the bread round, etc. Cutting hedges and doing gardening just to make enough money to buy a record. So 10 albums of my own choice. And so I went to the record store. I think 7 of them were Motown. And I loved those records so much. It gave me so much pleasure, escapism. And then, you know, they're still my favorite records. I mean, they just stay with you for the rest of your life, those first records.
Yeah, I guess Philly as well as Motown for you.
Philadelphia, TSOP, absolutely. Well, they wanted to be Motown, didn't they? They were kind of trying to emulate that. I had so many records by Gamble and Huff, wasn't it? Yeah, fabulous. When Will I See You Again? The OJs, Me and Mrs. Jones, Billy Paul. Many, many more. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got 20 questions. I think there are about 33
20
points.
20, oh my God.
20 questions. I think there are 33 points in all that you could get.
You said
20
10,
questions.
Mike. You said 10. This is just not fair.
It is 20, but there's no hurry. There's no hurry. You've got a month to think about each one, so that's absolutely fine. Okay, and some may be trickier than others, but some easier as well. Okay, so number 1, who started Tamla Motown with an idea and $800?
Oh, well, that's easy. That would be, I'm going to be specific about this with the last bit at the end of the name. So Berry Gordy Jr.
Berry Gordy Jr., absolutely right. But I mean, how many people in our industry have started and said, I've got an idea, give me a few $100s, and it hasn't worked. But for him, it's a multi-million pound industry. Incredible.
And back then, you know, but didn't he start like Brian Epstein? He had a record shop. And you know, he had this love of music and he increased his knowledge. It's what a lot of people don't know is he actually wrote many hits for Motown. You know, I think before he started Motown, he wrote hits and then he started Motown. But that's an interesting question, isn't it? Because if he wrote hits, but he had to borrow $800 to start the label, which obviously a lot of money then, I guess he was waiting for the royalties or something like that. I'm not quite sure.
Isn't everybody waiting for the royalties? Right. Okay, question 2. Which 1978 number 1 was the first song to top the charts on the Motown label after Berry Gordy had dropped the Tamla prefix? 78, number 1, the first one without the Motown prefix. It was just Motown without the Tamla prefix.
78. That I don't know.
78,
So
first one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to guess that one. That's
They had a famous lead singer.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm guessing it's either Diana Ross or Diana Ross and the Supremes.
Or
did you say which record or which artist?
Well, you could tell me either, really. It's a band and they're male. I'll tell you they're male.
It's got to be the Temptations.
It was the Commodores, 3 Times a Lady. First one on Motown without Tamla.
Okay.
Hey, number three. In 1961, Berry Gordy signed the Primettes to Tamla Motown before changing the Primettes name to what?
The Supremes.
The Supremes, right? You're back on form.
They were actually known.
Get you down. Number 4.
Sorry, Mike. They were known around the label as the no-hit Primettes. They got this nickname because they had like 10 singles released and no success. And they almost didn't happen. It's hard to believe, right?
Yeah, but interestingly, I mean, if you look back at bands in the 60s where record labels got behind them, you can look and see they'd support up to 4, 5, 6, even 7 singles trying to break the group because they believed in them, which just would not happen now. They would not spend 2 years and all that money trying to break a band now. Wouldn't happen.
No, absolutely.
Okay, here we go. Number 4. Tamla Motown's first US number 1 was from an 11-year-old artist. Who is he and what was the song?
Oh, well, I think it's Steve. Can you ask me that question again? 11-year-old.
Yeah, you're almost there. Tamla Motown's first US number 1. Yeah. And what was the song?
Oh, I don't know the song. I don't know the song. Do I get half a point?
No, you get a whole point for Stevie Wonder, but I'll give you half a point because I'll tell you the song was in 2 parts. That might be a clue. Part 1 and part 2.
I should know.
No, I'll tell you, it was Fingertips. It was Fingertips. Fingertips.
Yeah, okay.
So number 5. Here we go. Number 5. Before they had their own label in the UK from 1965, Motown released their songs here on 4 different labels. I'll give you a point for each label that Motown came out on here.
Oh,
4 different labels in this country.
I should know this.
That released Motown songs at one point or another.
Were these like established labels?
Well-known labels. Well-known. Yeah, really well-known labels. Yeah.
I'm gonna guess EMI, RCA.
Which of they had a couple of labels though on EMI. The label name.
The label name.
One of the big. Well,
it sounds like a trick question. Is it Tamla Motown?
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, they are labels that had quite a lot of hits here. The first one, massive label, probably the biggest at the time.
CBS.
Another. No, you know all these labels. You know them all.
Well, I said EMI. I said CBS. I've said there's MCA. There's
the actual label. Go for the actual label. You'd have bought stuff on these labels, without question. Because you will be so annoyed when I tell you the names. You'll go, oh.
Go ahead, tell me.
London.
Oh, yeah.
Fontana, Stateside, and Oriole.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
They all came out on those before they came out on Motown.
Yeah. I know London and Fontana, but I didn't know the other 2. But I'm shocked because when I bought my Motown records, it said Motown on the label, so that's a bit confusing.
Yeah, before they actually released them here as under the Motown label, they licensed them to other labels to come out.
Really? Okay, so that was like really early on, was it?
Until 65, yeah, until Motown kicked in, I think.
That's early. Yeah. Okay.
Good. Anyway, it's good. It's good. Next quiz, you'll know that.
I'm learning something here. This is great.
Good. Right, question 6. Which act had these early Motown releases? Shop Around, You Really Got a Hold on Me, and Mickey's Monkey.
Smokey Robinson and the Miracles.
Is the right answer. Number 6, Smokey Robinson, Mickey's Monkey. What a great track. Very underplayed on the radio. Number 7, with which Tamla Motown artist did the Beatles tour and whom they said was their favorite female American singer? And she released an album in 65 called Love Songs to the Beatles. They toured with this lady. They said, she's our favorite American singer. And she had one-off hit here, one big hit.
I know her name. That's so weird. I was reading about this the other day. It's on the... I don't think it's going to come. Oh, yeah, she had one.
Her hit was the same title. Her hit was the same title as a Big Madness hit. Well, not really. Sort of, yeah. The opposite of a Madness hit.
I'm not going to get it. I know the story. I know about this lady and the fact that she came to the UK. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, is it Pearl?
As far as I can tell, he's the cream of the crop.
Oh my God, Mary Wells. It's Mary Wells.
Mary Wells. I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you that because you deciphered my rather feeble attempt to sing it, which is worth 2 and 6 in anybody's money. Brilliant.
Well, that was such a vague clue. Yeah, very vague clue. I can have the point for that.
Right, number 8. What was Jimmy Ruffin's first top 10 hit in the UK in 1966 and again top 10 in 74? Jimmy Ruffin, top 10 hit in 66.
Is it Farewell is a Lonely Sound?
No, but it's a similar length title.
Half a point. Oh God. Farewell is a Lonely Sound.
Again, you'll have it in your collection.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Put me out. You'll have it in
your collection.
Put me out of my misery.
I don't want to because I know you know it. I know it's in there, and I know it's just about to come out.
Farewell is a Lonely Sound, or gosh.
The trouble is when you get one in your head, it tends to stick in there. Yeah.
Yeah. It can get in the way.
Have you ever walked the land of broken dreams?
Oh, of course, it's What Becomes of a Broken Heart, Sid. Isn't it?
I walk this land. What becomes the broken-hearted? Right, okay. This one, you get this one. Number 9. Who had a top 10 hit in the UK in 69 with I'll Pick a Rose?
I'll Pick a Rose for My Rose was...
For My Rose.
Yeah, isn't that the Four Tops?
Somehow I hope she goes.
Four Tops, isn't it?
No, it was Marv Johnson. It was Marv Johnson. Marv Johnson.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
One-off hit for Marv Johnson. But number 10, here we go, halfway through. Holland Dozier Holland left Motown in the late 60s to form their own label. What was it called?
Invictus Records.
Invictus, absolutely right. Yeah, the Invictus label. I think they're just, again, they were waiting for their money, I think, while they did that. Right, okay. Invictus, absolutely right, number 10. And number 11, which artist had the first UK number 1 for the label?
For Invictus?
Yeah.
Band of Gold, Frida Payne.
Yeah, it was. Band of Gold, Frida Payne. Yeah, you get 2 for that. Brilliant. Band of Gold, Frida Payne. 12, Berry Gordy sold Motown to MCA for £61 million, having started with $800. In which year? I'll give you a year either side. In which year in the 80s did he sell Motown to MCA for $61 million? Having started with
I remember reading about this. It would be around 1988.
It was right on 1988. Absolutely spot on. Yeah, it was 1988. Very good.
Woo!
Very good. Question 13. Eddie Kendricks, David Ruffin, Dennis Edwards all sang lead for which Motown band?
Temptations.
The Temptations. Absolutely right. Yeah, Temptations. Now, which Motown songs start with these words? A, Sugarpie, Honeybunch. Got to sing it through, haven't you?
I can't help
You've got to sing it through.
myself. Yeah, I can't help myself.
Feel free. It's okay.
I can't help myself.
Can't help myself. Yeah. And B, I don't care what they think about me. I don't care what they say.
Yeah, that's Smokey. I don't think what they think about. I don't care what they say. I'm getting to the chorus. Being with you. Being with you.
That's right. Loads of times. No, there's no hurry. It's okay. We'll take the full song. Being with you.
It is being with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's always the way you've got to sing your way to the chorus.
Yes.
It is. No, being with you. Absolutely right answer. Yeah. Okay. C. I was walking down the street when this boy started following me. My heart started jumping. Blood pressure. My heart started thumping. Wasn't it? Blood pressure jumping.
Is that something by Martha Reeves? I was walking down
close
street.
female band.
Is it? I was walking down the street. Da, da, da. No, I don't know that one. I don't think.
But it's boys, yeah. You do. My heart started jumping. My heart started thumping. Blood pressure jumping.
He was really saying something.
He was.
And the song,
yes, he was really saying something. Absolutely.
And the band is the
Velvelettes.
The Velvelettes, not the Marvelettes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the Velvelettes. Yeah, good stuff. Right, there we go. Number 15. The punishment's nearly over. Which Marvin Gaye song became Tamla Motown's biggest hit of all time? Number one on both sides of the Atlantic in the late 60s.
I'm gonna guess Heard It Through the Grapevine. Too obvious?
The right guess. Absolutely right. Yeah, Motown's biggest hit of all time. Excellent. Right, number 16.
Written by Barrett and Whitefield and Strong, I think.
Whitfield, yeah, Whitfield and Strong, yeah. They're good writers.
They also wrote Car Wash for Rolls Royce.
They're not waiting for their money then. Okay, 16. Which Jackson 5 hit became the second biggest selling Motown single of all time? Bit of a surprise, this one. I don't think many people would maybe guess. I mean, a big hit for the Jackson 5, but it's Motown's second biggest selling single of all time.
Woo! I mean, the obvious one really is ABC.
This one sold more, though.
Oh, I Want You Back, ABC. Is it I'll Be There?
It is I'll Be There. Yes, well done. Well done. Excellent. Right, brilliant. Which Supreme song became the third biggest Motown song of all time?
I'm going to guess Baby Love.
Is the right answer. Baby Love, absolutely third biggest seller of all time with Motown. Okay, Martha and the Vandellas had 6 top 10 hits in the States. And I give you a point for each one you can name. Basically, just pick 6 big Martha and the Vandellas songs. And yeah, what are you going for?
I'll go for Needle in a Haystack, Jimmy Mac.
No, we're back at the Velvelettes. Back at Jimmy Mac. Yes, Jimmy Mac. One for Jimmy Mac.
Okay, obviously Dancing in the Street.
Dancing in the Street. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so I've got 2. Martha Reeves.
You know them all. You know them all. You'll have them in your collection.
I probably do. I can only think of two off the top of my head.
There's one you bring out in the summer when it's really hot.
Um,
In fact, I think the Jam covered it very early on this one. Heat Wave.
Heat Wave, of course.
Heat Wave. I know,
Heat
you know.
Wave.
Another was Quicksand. And there are two more that I know you know. I'm red for love. Da, 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 da. It's clearly a feeble clue.
It didn't.
Okay, I'm ready for love, and I'm ready for love.
Okay.
Ready for love, and nowhere to run.
Nowhere to run. I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Run, baby. Nowhere to hide. Yeah.
Great songs. 19. The Isley Brothers had 4 UK hits on Motown. A point for each Isley Brothers hit you can name.
Oh. Who's that lady? Is that Isley Brothers?
Yeah, well, it was.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Say that again.
All these others are. I'll give you the point. It wasn't on Tamla Motown, but I'll give you the point for that definitely because it was a hit for the Isley's. But these are four big ones that you could sing all.
The Isley Brothers. You know, the weird thing is, right? You hear a song on the radio and you go, you know who it is.
I know.
But without the music connecting the dots, it's harder than you think. This is interesting. And I'm sure if you played them all, I'd be able to, if we weren't doing this and they were just on the radio, I'd go, oh, Isley Brothers. But and interesting that I'm
going to give you the second line of one of them. Is weak for you. It's weak for you.
Yeah. It's not coming. It's not coming.
It's weak for you.
Oh, this old heart of mine. Of course.
Yeah.
This old heart of mine been broke 1,000 times. Each time you break away.
Oh, listen, that's worth a point of anybody's money. If you can do, I guess I'll always love you. I'll give you another point.
I don't know that one.
Put yourself in my place.
Oh, I know. Put yourself in my place by the Elgins. But they did
Behind the Painted Smile.
Oh, I love that one. Is that the Isley Brothers? Yeah. Okay.
Behind a Painted Smile. Wonderful. Right. Number 20. Motown and their various labels. Motown and the various labels had 57 US number ones. 57. The first was Please Mr. Postman in 1961. Who sang it?
Is that the Velvelettes? Is that the Velvelettes?
Close.
Marvelettes. The
Close.
Ronettes.
Yes, the Marvelettes.
It's the Marvelettes. Okay. I knew it was an X.
Yeah, well, you got it for the X. And the final part of that question: which group had the last US Motown number one in 1997, singing
what?
4 Seasons of Loneliness? One in 1997, singing 4 Seasons of the song 4 Seasons of Loneliness, the last US Motown number one, 1997.
I haven't got a clue.
It was Boys to Men. Boys to Men.
Yeah. You know that the late Motown is not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
But
no,
you've got 21, which is good, I reckon.
I don't think I'm going to win anything with that, but I've actually learned something about one of my favorite labels, so it's been great.
Yeah, no, it's weird, isn't it? I know on Pop Quiz when sometimes we ask people questions about their own band and they've been stumped. Seriously, did Pointless and I did Millionaire, and you go on, you think, yeah, I know about stuff. And then on Millionaire, I think I've got a question about the Arctic Monkeys bass player. Okay. And then an actress. I don't know much about actresses. I thought, and everyone clearly knows apart from me, who they're talking about. So yeah, it's always easy sitting there going, I know that. But when you're on the spot, boy, oh boy, yeah.
I don't think it was too embarrassing, so I can go away with without too much shame.
Yeah, and you can probably, go back to the hedge clipping like you did when you were a lad. I noticed just over your left ear there's a hedge that needs doing, so I could just spot it out of the door there. So
yeah,
you've got to have a backup, haven't you, in case things go wrong.
Well, that's where you write your songs, when you're clipping the hedges.
Let me have your privet number.
Fabulous.
Good stuff. As always, wonderful sport, great songs. Good luck with the new album, and I'm sure we'll see you around very, very soon somewhere. Probably in the lanes at Brighton.
See you around, baby. See you around.
Limahl, one thing I've asked a lot of people, I remember asking Cliff this, and saying, one day in the distant future, where would you like your blue plaque? And he said, oh, without hesitation, 2 Ice Coffee Bar. And I said, not one of your houses? No, 2 Ice Coffee Bar. So it's an interesting question to ask somebody, as I'm, chairman of the British Plaque Trust, where would you like your blue plaque one day? Where would yours be if you had one?
Outside of the building that used to house the Embassy Club on Old Bond Street, partly because it's a beautiful street, and that's where I met Nick Rose from Duran Duran. It's where Kajagoogoo had their first London gig.
Okay, we'll get the wording sorted, but not yet. Not yet.
Not yet, hopefully. Not for a while.
Brilliant. That's great. That's terrific. Thank you.